at the end of the day, what do you want to do? Do you want to jump or you want to get pushed? What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, Ash Unlimited. I'm Ashley Nicole, and this is the first episode of my podcast. I don't have a name yet, which is cool. I'm gonna figure it out. I figured that it would happen organically because I want to really have a name that sticks to the true essence and the intentions behind this podcast, which is to motivate my listeners and motivate women who are mothers, entrepreneurs, trying to find themselves, people who want to start a business, people who want to just elevate themselves personally, internally, figure out what they're doing, find their purpose. If that's you, this podcast is for you. So, with that being said, the first episode is about breaking free from self-doubt and steps to boost your confidence. Now, the crazy thing about this whole situation is that today really like foreshadowed what we're going to talk about. I could not get my stuff together in time for this first episode, and I had every reason to not do this today, but I was like, no, I got to see this through. I got to see it through because I feel like I keep on finding ways to not do what I'm going to say I'm going to do. And I cannot move forward if I constantly use things that are out of my control to limit me from pushing forward. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. I've got my notes. And with that said, let's get started. So before we begin, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Ashley, like I stated earlier, and Ash Unlimited is a name that came from a TikTok page that I created that was originally supposed to teach people how to use social media, digital marketing tactics, how to strategize for their business or their personal page. But I couldn't really get people interested in it. And I figured that, hey, maybe it's something I'm passionate about, but the people who had followed me from my business page were not interested in it. So it ended up turning into a page of me just going on adventures and taking myself out on solo dates and exploring my city. And that turned into this big page that everyone was following locally to figure out where things were, where to eat, what to do, and how to explore. And what made me so passionate about that was that I feel like so many people, especially people of color, especially Black women, we don't feel safe or comfortable maneuvering larger cities or spaces that are not familiar to us because we don't feel like we should be in those spaces. And so I wanted to just go out and not wait on a friend or wait on a guy and do it by myself. And so that turned into me organizing these events called Link Up Meetups. And I basically picked a hidden gem in the city, and people would come out and meet each other and make friends in the city. So that's where Ash Unlimited came from. And it pretty much turned into this because I wanted to do more. So Ash Unlimited, what that means to me is I am limitless. I can do whatever I want. I can do it however I want. I do not have to play by anybody else's rules. Whatever I want to have in this life, I believe I can achieve. Whether it's wealth, health, prosperity, abundance, I can do it. So if you're on this channel, that is what we are going to be talking about, how to unlock those things inside of you. And I'm also on my journey as well, so we'll be doing it together. Now, my personal life, let's get into it. I'm a single mom of 3. I have twins that are 4 years old, and I have a 7-year-old who's about to be 8. So I have my hands full, and I'm also an owner of a online business called Ashley's Famous Cookies. At this time, Ashley's Famous Cookies is really slow. I'm still kind of figuring out where I'm going to pivot with that because I am burned out. I don't want to bake anymore. And that's something that for a while I was afraid to say. I did not want to tell people that, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. But I'm being vulnerable because I realize that there is nothing to be scared or ashamed of when you are ready to pivot, or when God says it's time to do something else. You follow spirit and do what you need to do. So once again, we're figuring this out together. I'm going to use the knowledge I have, and I'm going to continue to share what I know, and we're going to continue to build ourselves as we go on this journey. So, let's get into the topic of the day. Why do we doubt ourselves? Like, where does self doubt really come from? Like, where does it stem from? Why do we feel like if we don't have validation from people around us, we cannot do something? And I've been struggling with this for a while, and I've pretty much scaled it back to my childhood, right? My inner child is looking for validation. A high five, you did good. Hey, that's a good idea, you know? When I was a kid, I was the oldest of three, but I was also the only daughter. Okay, I was the scholarly kid. I was the overachiever. I was the one who could communicate well. I was reading early. I always have been theatrical, and I've always been this very bright child. But with that came a lot of pressure to be something, to be perfect. Being perfect, having the stress of being perfect on your back is it is unattainable. You cannot do it. And so in adulthood, trying to remove that I have to be perfect mindset is something that I've been struggling with. And I think that's one of the main reasons we have self-doubt, because we're like, if it doesn't work, I failed. If this doesn't happen the way I want it to, or if nobody supports me, they're going to say, I told you so, or that's stupid. Why are you doing that? But, hey, Mom. We're going to talk about this in a minute. But when I tell you I don't have what I need, I'm just starting. That's what's happening right now. So my mom just walked downstairs, and I'm laughing because my setup is something I've just tried to come up with right now so I can make this happen. But we'll get into that later. So back to perfection. You cannot be perfect. If it was about being perfect, we wouldn't even be here right now. I wouldn't even be recording this because nothing's going right today. But I wanted to show up because I cannot wait on things to be perfect. So that self-validation has to come from you. You cannot wait on someone else to tell you that your idea is good. You cannot wait on someone to tell you that, man, that's a smart move. When you feel like you need to do something, you got to trust your intuition. Whatever your higher power is, you need to tap into that. God, light, spirit, whatever you call it, the universe, you need to listen to that intuition that tells you that when you need to do something, it's time to move. So that's the first thing. Self-doubt comes from looking for outside validation. One thing that really boosted my confidence was I took a solo trip to North Carolina this summer. I was meditating, and I had a vision of Raleigh, North Carolina. And I'm like, I don't know anything about Raleigh, but it never left my spirit. For months, I just kept telling everybody, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. And I eventually could not take it anymore. I'm like, I got to see why this is on my heart so much. So I went, spur of the moment. I booked an Airbnb the night before, and hey, asked my parents, can y'all help watch my kids? And I took a 9-hour drive from Birmingham, Alabama to Raleigh, North Carolina with no rhyme, no reason, nothing. I don't know why I went. And when I went up there, it was just this very spiritual, beautiful, intentional, just everything flowed so well. The people were nice. Every place that I visited was amazing. The food was amazing. The weather was nice the whole time. I had an amazing time, all the way to the point where I started to think, man, I think I want to move here. But I went because my spirit was calling me. So you have to trust yourself. So with self-confidence, taking those little steps of just listening to your own voice and letting it play out, those are things that are going to help level you into a place where you can make bigger moves. So me taking that solo trip, and I wrote myself off for years as someone who can't drive more than 2 hours. So taking a trip by myself on the road and driving 9 hours really boosted my confidence. Taking a trip by myself and being outside and being in spaces where I don't know anyone, by myself, where there's no one I know close in proximity, boosted my confidence. Just going into a culture of people that I don't know boosted my confidence. So whatever it is, like if you want to start working out, Go to the gym, no matter how scary it is. If you feel like you're not gonna belong into the gym culture, it doesn't matter. Put on those sweatpants, put on that sports bra and that t-shirt and go. That is how you boost your confidence, by putting yourself in situations to feel uncomfortable, feel that cringe, feel like, this is awkward. On the other side of that, that is where you're going to have the confidence to show up in a space that you know something or have something to share and do that. So, whatever your niche is, and the niche is you, but whatever you do, whatever it is on your heart, you got to put yourself in a position to be uncomfortable. Now, let's have a story time about self doubt and how you can waste years of your life waiting on validation. Or what will happen is you will get so tired of being where you are that you will be forced to go into the next season. So at the end of the day, what do you want to do? Do you want to jump or you want to get pushed? Let me tell you how Ashley's Famous Cookies started. Ashley's Famous Cookies was not something I was trying to do. I did not plan on being this cookie business mogul. I did not plan on shipping cookies all over the country. I did not plan on being on national news. None of that was in my dream. What happened was I had a child. When I had my first son, after he was born, I had a craving for cookies. I ate them every single day. I would go buy a dozen cookies every single day. And one day I was like, you know what? If I'm going to be eating cookies like this, I need to try to make them myself because this is out of control. So I found a little recipe online, very simple recipe. Boom, made chocolate chip cookies at home. My family tried them and they were like, these are really good. Long story short, my mom, okay, I don't know how your mom is, but my mom, she likes to gas me up. So she made it like, hey, I'm not gonna eat any more cookies. I'm only eating Ashley's Famous Cookies. And I'm like, Mom, it's not that deep. But she really would not eat any other cookies. So when I would bring another cookie home, she wouldn't eat it. And I'm like, Mom, you're not gonna eat these cookies? And she's like, nope, I'm only eating Ashley's Famous Cookies. So long story short, that's where the name came from. Now here's the thing. It took me 2 years before I finally decided to try to sell them. She kept telling me, hey, you need to sell these. You need to sell these. I didn't want to hear that because I was like, who's going to buy a cookie? My boyfriend at the time was like, you really think someone's going to buy cookies? It just didn't seem like something that was profitable. It didn't seem like something that made sense. Well, why? Who's going to buy cookies from me? I didn't go to culinary school. But one day I got tired of being where I was, and so you know what I did? Took a picture of the cookies and put them on my Facebook page, and people started to support, and it just took off from there. So I say that to say, you have to try. Put yourself out there. I wasted 2 years. Now, I do believe in timing. I do believe that timing is something that plays a pivotal role in how things develop and how success is made. But I wasted so much time because I was afraid and I had self doubt and I was waiting on someone to validate me and say this was a good idea. And now people are like, I can't believe you're not baking cookies. So at the end of the day, you've got to trust your instinct and go for it. The reason why I wanted to start my YouTube was because I wanted to really reach the people in the community that I feel like my heart and my spirit are meant to reach. And although I do enjoy baking, that is no longer a season that I'm in. And I'm ready to really move forward into a season where I can use my gifts and my creativity to help motivate others, to help build other people's brands, to help other people find their purpose. And so that is why I decided to make this channel. I was sitting one day and I was listening to Open This Wall. It's a song off of an album by, I think it's Baralos. I don't know how to pronounce his name yet, but that album is amazing. And I just kept asking Spirit, like, open this wall for me. Like, what do I need to do? The YouTube needs direction. And what do I need to do? And a podcast came to mind, which is so cliche, but I realized that I can't be worried about every other podcast. I can't be worried about how many other podcasts are out there. I know my voice is important, and it's important that I share what I have. I am a single mother of 3. I do have help. I currently stay with my mom, so I'm so grateful for her. She's definitely my rock and supports everything that me and my kids do. But being a single mother is hard, and being an entrepreneur and a mom alone is even harder. I definitely overworked myself for the last 7, 8 years, trying to play so many roles and trying to not only chase my dream, but also be what I need to be for my kids who also have their own dreams and they need so many things. You have to make sure that you balance yourself, ground yourself. It's okay to fall short. You're not going to have the perfect day every day. But one thing I've heard is there's 4 quarters in a day. If the first quarter goes wrong, you have 3 more quarters to get it together. Think of your day like a football game. You got 4 quarters to figure this crap out. Don't give up on yourself because things are not going right. Like I said, I don't have a microphone. I really don't have everything I need. I made a Pinterest board, but that just made me have even more self doubt because I don't have the same stuff all the girlies on Pinterest have. But I realized those things are designed to keep me from starting because I'm waiting on perfection. Perfection is not going to happen. And that leads me to my next point. Nobody is going to save you, nobody is coming. Nobody. You have to get up and you've got to make it happen. If you're watching this and you have an idea for a business, if you have an idea for a group, a community, if you have an idea for a book, if you have an idea for a script, if you have an idea for content, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, you have to make it happen because the world needs you. The world needs your point of view. The world needs what you are bringing to the table. Stop waiting on someone else to see the vision because guess what? We're just the NPC in someone else's reality. Everybody's the main character. The same way you've got your problems and you're stressed out, everybody else has their problems and they're stressed out. If you're sitting around waiting on other people to get up and do something with you, you're never going to do it. If you're waiting on your friends to get hip and go to the gym with you, you're never going to go. If you're waiting on a guy to fall in love with so you can go on all of these magical vacations and these beautiful restaurants, you might never go. You got to go. Put yourself in the proximity of the people that you want to be around and let things happen. You got to put yourself in the algorithm. Literally, life is like a game. You have to put yourself out there, take the risk, and allow the law of attraction to help you out. Put yourself out there. If I don't make this video, how can I reach anyone? I've got to let the algorithm do what it's going to do. So you've got to stop waiting on anyone else and put yourself out there. Before I became a mom, I pretty much wrote myself off as the type of person who can't stick to anything. And I had to rewrite and rewire how I thought about myself because that's not who I am, but that's something that I wrote myself off to be because that's how people perceive me. So when I became a mom, I started to realize I'm showing up every day. I'm making food for my kids. I'm loving them. I'm providing them shelter. I'm doing whatever I have to do every single day consistently. So I realized like you are consistent, but you don't show up consistently for yourself. You're consistent on the job. You're consistent for your kids. You're consistent for everyone else. But then when it comes to you, you don't have any consistency. You don't keep any of the promises you keep to yourself. You're going to change your lifestyle. You're going to eat healthier. Nope. You're going to work out. Nope. You're going to start this new hobby. No. But growing up, before I became an entrepreneur, they need me to come in last minute on the job. Oh, I'm there. Anybody need me? People pleaser Ashley is ready to help. And I realized that no, I don't lack consistency. I'm putting my consistent energy in the wrong cup. That's what I was doing. So motherhood really built my confidence to make me realize that I can stick to something, and I am passionate and I am worthy of long-term goals. But if I don't do it for myself, no one's going to do it for me. So if that's you, if you're the type of person who starts a new idea and then you put it down, or you start a new hobby and then you forget about it, I feel you. I feel you. I promise you, I know how that is. But you have to rewire your brain. Start saying those affirmations, things that you don't even associate with yourself. You need to say. You look in the mirror and you feel uncomfortable with how you look, you still need to say, I am beautiful. Take all your clothes off. I don't care what your body looks like. You look in the mirror and say, hey, I am beautiful. I love my stretch marks. I love my roll on my back. You have to start there, because nobody is coming to validate you. Some people in life, their only role and goal is to make sure you never know who you are. So you waiting on someone to tell you that you're amazing, then you're going to be waiting for a very long time. Another thing as a creative that I think really creates a creative block, especially now, is how much clout and currency is behind the creative process now. Like, you don't just create just to create. It's always like, am I gonna get views if I do this? Are people gonna watch this? Will I get paid if I do this? It's so hard now to create from a place of pure creativity. And I was talking to my son, and we were talking about how when you're a kid, you know, I only have a certain amount of time to create from a place of enjoyment, because once I get to about 12 to 14 years old, there's this pressure on me, and he's 7, by the way. There's this pressure on me to know what I'm going to do. Where am I headed? What do I want to go to school for? Am I going to go to college? What is my purpose? What is my passion? And I realized that when kids play from a place of pure just happiness. They're not doing it because this is content that somebody's going to judge. They're not doing it because it's a paper that needs to be graded. They're not doing it to land a job or a career in a field. And that is another thing that plays into self-confidence. When you have something that you want to share with the world, but you feel like it's not desirable, or it's not something trending, or something that people really want, you won't do it. And that's another way to keep you stuck. How many anime was not mainstream. The anime kids were getting bullied growing up. Now people jumping on a wave just so they can say they're a part of the anime team. Like, what? Who would ever think anime would become mainstream? Now, mind you, I'm sure somebody out there knows a lot about that group, that trend, and that culture, and they can say, oh, I saw it coming. But I'm just saying, there was a time where anime was not cool. People were scared to say they watched that. It's something that you're doing, something you like to do that you probably think isn't cool either, but you still need to get on it because there's a reason why that's on your heart. Like I mentioned earlier, I am a free spirit. I love to not really be confined. Anytime I feel like there's a box, I trip, I flip, and I dip. I trip, I flip, I dip. I'm out. You trying to confine me? Ash gotta go. So I am saying this from a place of understanding when I say that when it comes to how to become consistent, you got to take small steps. You have to take the small steps. Yes, make that vision board for the year, but one thing that I'll dive into in another video is how to create a vision board that actually works, how to create those monthly vision boards so you can manifest things monthly and actually see them happen and see them come into fruition, because it is very, very hard when you don't know how to stick to something to be motivated by long-term goals. Those baby steps that you take every day, even when you don't feel like it, are the things that are going to get you to those long-term goals. So you have to take baby steps. One thing I like to do, and I'll just go ahead and give you a little snippet of it here, is I like to do monthly vision boards for the month. So every month I make a vision board for, like, it's October now. I'll make a vision board for October and put things that are important to me that month. And it's not all like business based. It could be something like, I want to go hiking here, XYZ. I want to try this new trail. I want to paint my toes orange. I want to make sure I do that this month. That's something that I want to do. I want to jazz up my gym clothes and get some new ideas. I put that on there. And then I put affirmations, and I might put some business goals, like make sure you start your YouTube on there. But I do realistic things, and I don't overcrowd the board. I just do just enough so I know, hey, this is the vibe we're going for. And as the weeks go by, every week I pick 2 or 3 new things to tackle, like fun things, like, oh, I said I wanted to go out to dinner. Let me do that. That's still on my board. That's how I make things happen. The yearly vision board is still great, but I use that as an overall concept for the bigger goals. But within that, how do I make that more attainable? The monthly vision boards. If you're not making a monthly vision board on Pinterest or just magazine cutouts or whatever you want to do, you're missing out, because those monthly visuals, man, game changer. I know that I'll one day look back on this video and feel like it's so cringe and I could have did so much better. But in this moment, this is the best that I can do. And I'm really proud of myself for showing up today. Some homework for you this week is to retrain your brain, reprogram yourself by being very intentional with what you watch, with what you listen to, and the people you're around, the places you're at, things you eat. Don't do it all in one week, but pick one. Pick music. Like, really listen to the lyrics. Are these things pouring into you? Words of affirmation. It's really that serious, because it's going into your subconscious. What are you eating? Are the things you're eating pouring into your nutritional value to help your mental health and the function of your body? It's really that serious. It's not you being a fuddy duddy, but we're really trying to, like, take this turn and get past this point. And something you're doing, you know what it is, because I knew what it was. Something you're doing that you know you need to give up, it's time to let it go. Rather it's the music, the food, the friends. I don't know, it's something you need to let it go. It might be, that guy that has been a walking red flag since day one. Your energy's going somewhere, but you're going to have to take a moment, separate yourself from the noise, social media, whatever it is, and you're going to have to take some time to really focus on you so you can get past this point. Because if you continue to ignore the feelings and vibes, you're just going to continue to stress and suppress your body and create more anxiety around your overall aura, because you know you're ready to propel into your next level, but you're fighting it because you don't want to make those changes. Do one thing that scares you this week. Like this, like me on here. This is scary. I don't really feel like this is the best, but I'm here, and that's fine, because it's gonna get better. But do one thing that scares you. Looking into the lens is new for me. That's scary. Talking to myself in hopes of someone listening on the other end, that's scary. Me putting my opinions out into the world, that's scary. Showing up for myself when I could be somewhere else, that's scary. But I'm going to just keep showing up. And I want you to hold me accountable, and I'm going to hold you accountable for you to show up too. So whatever it is, if you just need to start with a plan, write out the ideas, put something into action this week. Let's make it happen, because next week we're really gonna tap in. This is just the beginning. I hope that you enjoyed this podcast. It was very quick, it was very short, but I just wanted to really touch base and introduce myself and let you guys know that I am here to not only uplift and motivate you, but to help you propel into your purpose, help you to excel in your excellence, and help you to be successful with your soul mission. We got this. We got this. I don't know what you've been through, but I know you have a story, and I know that there is something that you want to do and you're scared to do it. Now is the time. So if you're ready to turn up and grow as a woman, grow as a beautiful soul, and just show up for yourself and become that confident person that you want to be, drop a comment. Let me know where you're from, what your name is, and let's get to it. See y'all in my next episode. Bye.